Do you believe in the existence of extraterrestrials?
Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Monday, July 28th, 2025, as we come into the end of the month of July. Well, we've got some disclosure heating up here, friends. We got some more information that we've all been waiting for. On that note, let me go ahead and welcome in our audience. Who the heck do we have out there? Quickly, we have American Cultures here along with Amiga Rules. I see Angry Unsugared Marshmallow Peep is in the audience. Good to see you, my friend. We've got Anne-Marie April R. Coleman is here, along with Azriel Aries, Brains, and Kathy Spires in the chat, along with Kathy. She was here earlier, but she's on vacation. Craig's here, along with Craig Smith. I see Dennis Benke in the chat. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Appreciate the chat. You're the 13th man, our friends. Dennis Benke's here, along with Digger Dog and Eli McGinnis. I see Eliza Teal, Eric Roth, and the Grooves. We've got Firefly. Yeah, it's Lucy in the football for everybody else. Fire Guys here along with Geraldine Durazio. We've got Gray Jedi. Health and Business here is here along with JB, Jared, J Cat, J Paul, Juliana Reverbal. We've got Justin's here along with Key22. Lon's here along with Maritime Unprepared. I see Megan Betts and Michael Dymock. Well, I see Kathy Barot and those piercing blue eyes somewhere. You're out there, Kathy. You always come. Kelly. Who else do we have out there? We got Megan Betts, Michael Dymock, Michelle Hung is in the chat. Mr. Joey B's here along with Nathan Forrest, Neil Morgan, Necessary Dialogue, Niles Guy, our resident Pitbull's here. Watch out, folks. Be nice in the chat. Not That Justin's here along with PC Anderson, Pip Dennerson, Rainstorm Hunter. Ram is here along with Raymar, Rico, Rodney, Rusty, Sal Pacino, Sam, Shinobi-Wan Kenobi, Stephen Forbes, Stephen Hines, the Super Unknowns here. Holy cow, I'm running out of time. Todd T's here along with Tia Marie, Two Midgets on a Horse, Vern Dude, Wee Beasties. Oh, God. It goes on. Wildcat Mahone, William Underwood, and Yell Tommy Tanker, also known as Andy. Wow, there are a ton of people in the chat. Holy cow. Let me go ahead and jump into the studio. There we go. We've got a great conversation going on here today, Mike. They have always been watching, talking about the paper that was just recently released on from Beatriz Villarroel on X. I believe it was on Sunday morning.
Yes. It was the paper that she's been promising us about her discovery, that everyone's been waiting to hear more information about it.
Absolutely. Now, Mike, if you remember, we had a teaser video that came out from Dennis, one of her colleagues back in Sweden, who's actually the head of OceanX, which is the exploration company that's going down, and they're the ones who actually discovered and have been checking out the Baltic Sea anomaly.
Right, which is an amazing discovery in itself.
Yeah.
But during the video, I think Dennis said this has nothing to do with the Baltic Sea.
I know, I'm just bringing out, it's a colleague of hers, and let's go ahead and play that. I've got a different cut here coming from Psychoactivio. They actually did use some AI to go ahead and get some an audio track put together, so I don't have to go ahead and read it again. Let me go ahead and jump into here, Mike, and let's get this going. Let's get to it. You ready?
Yeah, this will be fun. I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
Hey everyone, don't go away now. Don't leave. Don't swipe away from me. This is important, I have to say. I came home a little while ago after being at work at Stockholm University. I've been working with Beatrice, the astronomer, as you know.
Just so everybody knows, he doesn't speak English natively. This video was recorded in Swedish, so that's why we're not hearing him talk.
We work on that thing with BTC through this in the Baltic Sea, but Beatrice and I also work on finding life and intelligence out in space, especially near Earth. When I got to work today, this new computer is completely insane. I can't tell you everything right now. I can't do that for certain reasons because this has to be presented in a scientific way, as it is in that world. But I can say this. I've never been as shocked as I was at work today. Both Beatrice and I feel a bit sick to our stomachs now. I can tell you that we now know things that very, very, very few people on Earth know. And we've said, Beatrice and a few others have this scientific data to share, but what's going to happen now is that they're working on it right now to present it internationally later on. I'm doing this because I could, but I feel like, why not? I have words now, and now it's happened. In a scientific way, it's been calculated, analyzed, and checked back and forth constantly, and apparently, things are happening around us. And as I said a little while ago, I understand why this information shouldn't come out to humanity. It's absolutely unbelievable. And now I know what it's about, and I wish I could tell you everything right now. I can't. I'm not allowed to. But I actually asked Beatrice. I mentioned this. She gave me approval to say this much. I can't mention what it's actually about, other than that it's a new scientific discovery that's been made, one that will shake things up properly. And I'm not joking. This is no bullshit. So be curious to know. As I said, Beatrice and I, astronomers at the university. This is something completely new, though they've been working on it for a while. But it's new data, new information. So incredible that you can hardly believe it's true. I've looked at the data and realized it's real, but I can't quite grasp it. Part of me can't believe it's been this way, maybe for a very, very long time. And this has nothing to do with the Baltic Sea object. Nothing at all. This is probably something entirely different. So I know what it's about, and I'm obviously not scared, but still, damn cautious now. That's why I feel like maybe it's good to share something, but the true purpose of the whole thing, we'll take that later. As I said, now you know a little, but more will come. I promise, more will come. Beatrice will explain it herself in her own words. It'll take a little time. We have to process it ourselves because it's so overwhelming. It's completely insane. It's hard to process this. And now it's just thinking, okay, what? Wow. Now I understand. I work but now you know a little, at least. You'll have to use your imagination. I can't go into details. Thanks for listening. And Dennis, bye.
All right, there we go, Mike. Interesting conversation coming in from Dennis, one of Beatrice's, if you want to call it, collaborators that she's been working with for some time. Now, besides the conversation that he's been having with Beatrice, you've been working closely with her for the last, last week or so, couple weeks.
Couple weeks, yeah. Before any of this came out publicly, before he released his video. Beatrice and I are friends, and we became friends when we covered the European Parliament UAP public hearing that they had that we attended by invitation of Francisco Guerrero, Minister of Parliament, who was on the forefront of trying to pass legislation in Europe about UAPs. And Beatrice and I, she was a presenter at that hearing. And she and I became friends. I knew about the work that she's been doing, but she wanted to wait until she was able to release all of these papers before she would discuss this openly with the public. And now she did. And we're able to talk about it. So it's very interesting. And it's been out there on social media since she dropped the paper. There's a lot for you and I to talk about right now.
Oh, absolutely, Mike. You've put a tweet out on this. Let me shut that down. Sorry about that. A tweet out on this with regards to the situation, and you were one of the first. You were besides Beatrice, you were the second person to go ahead and cover it. Your tweet or your X message has gone viral at this point. Let me let Kyle in. Let's go ahead and let me jump into it. Ready?
Yes, sir.
So, breaking news. We're calling this a UAP orbital grid is above Earth now for decades. The UFO debate was resolved around grainy photos and eyewitness testimony, but new research may have uncovered the most explosive evidence in history, not on Earth, but orbiting high above it. Now, as we all know, Dr. Beatriz Villarroel's study has detected what looks like a vast network of artificial objects in high Earth orbit, captured between 1949 and 1958, years before Sputnik and the dawn of human spaceflight. If confirmed, this is not a single UFO or stray satellite. This is an entire surveillance grid, and the implications are staggering. Now, in her research paper, she came out and she detailed that there are aligned multiple transient events in the first Palomar sky survey, meaning we've got a bunch of satellites being detected in high orbit around the Earth coming from the sky survey. Now, Beatrice's team analyzed the first Palomar sky survey from 49 to 58, a massive photographic record on glass, for that matter, of the sky taken years before humanity's first satellite launch. Now, the results are jaw-dropping. There are 298,165 short-lived flashes of life detected across the plates. Many were aligned and simultaneous, behaving like a sunlight reflecting off metallic surfaces. Mike, this sounds like, actually, let me get to this next part here, located 40,000 to 80,000 kilometers above Earth in high orbit, decades before we could put anything there. 80,000 kilometers in high orbit. Wow, that is way the heck out there, Mike. Now, these objects were like flat and reflective, as if they were made out of reflective metal and glass. Correct, Mike?
Yes, correct, Thomas. And that's at an altitude of between 25 and 50,000 miles away from the Earth.
That's pretty high up there.
It is, because the moon is 250,000 miles away.
Yeah. So, turning the clock back to the 1950s, humanity didn't even have a rocket capable of reaching low Earth orbit. Yet the data suggests hundreds of thousands of objects forming a coordinated grid. Something or someone was already up there. Now, while we don't know how long it's been up there, we know from 49 on, it's been there. This could go back potentially tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years, Mike.
That's true. We don't know exactly how long, but obviously long before we were able to get even a grain of sand up into low Earth orbit.
Exactly. Now, to prove these weren't camera errors or natural events, the team used a simple test. When the flashes were inside the Earth's shadow, they disappeared. When in sunlight, they reappeared. This means only one thing. These are physical sunlit objects in orbit. Kind of like we get like the flashes from satellites that are tumbling, circling the Earth right now. Every so often, they'll go ahead and have a flash, and that's coming from the solar reflection. But what we're hearing here is those objects, when they were behind, the shadow of the Earth, there was no reflection, kind of saying there's no self-illuminance coming on, right?
Correct. It's reflected directly from the sun. And it's not the luminosity of a rock or a comet or any of the normally occurring items that would be out in space. They wouldn't reflect the sun at that intensity.
No, they wouldn't.
No, they would not.
Now comes the believability factor when we're talking about sigma, right?
Right.
Sigma means how much is this real? How much can it be debunked? Sigma 1, yeah, we're looking at this kind of thing, and it could be something. With a Sigma 22, it's rock solid, isn't it?
It's a smoking gun.
Yeah.
As far as scientific evidence.
Right.
That's right, Thomas. Yeah.
So, 22 Sigma, it's real. 3 is intriguing. 5 is discovery level. It isn't just proof. It's a statistical knockout punch. It's the kind of number you get when the data is screaming that something real is there. Now, Mike, where is this Sigma rating coming from?
The Sigma rating is coming from the survey that was done using the Earth's shadow on these objects.
Yeah.
The statistical anomaly. It shows this is not simply background noise or a routine prosaic object that is reflecting that or not reflecting the sun. So that's what the smoking gun evidence is that she was able to discover using something like the umbra from the Earth to establish the reflectivity. And these are not naturally created objects, they're artificial.
Absolutely. Now, in the way you put it, the odds of this being random and not real isn't about 1 of 10 to the 70th power. Holy cow. For all practical purposes, 0. This isn't noise. It's hard physical evidence. When the scientists see a 22 Sigma, they don't call it a coincidence. Like you said, Mike, they call it a smoking gun. Wow. I don't think we've gotten this on any other kind of reporting on UAP in the past, have we?
No, we haven't, because usually whatever hypothesis is put out there and peer-reviewed, it doesn't have any direct evidence to support the hypothesis or the theory. But she's bringing something forward that has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Right.
So there's no room for error on her discovery.
Right. Wow.
Which is amazing. It's
again,
amazing.
we haven't seen anything like this before. But then again, you do look at the footage we've gotten from the Tic Tac. While that's never been given a Sigma, it's a different kind of evidence. This is more of a scientific paper versus a military documentation and video.
Right, but then we know that there's been issues with the Tic Tac incident because all the sensor logs, data, and information disappeared.
Yeah.
So any physical proof to establish how anomalous that object was, we no longer have. It's not in public possession.
You mean it was...
Now,
go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say at least now Beatriz is able to bring some actual evidence and some actual scientific proof out to the world, which is a big difference. It seems to be, my friend. It certainly seems to be. Now, they had a strong 3.9 Sigma flash aligns with the 1952 Washington, D.C. UFO flap that happened when unknown objects swarmed the U.S. Capitol at that time. This went on for a couple of weeks, and it even prompted a call from Einstein to the President of the United States, pleading with them not to shoot anything down that would put us in a bad light. Didn't want to start a war with a potential enemy that we couldn't defeat. So Einstein wasn't stupid. And that was 2 weeks in July of 1952. It's part of the history books now.
Yeah.
Not something that the government has officially acknowledged, but it happened nevertheless.
Mm-hmm.
And it ties into the work that Beatriz is doing, because now she's got correlation of the activity of these artificially made objects in orbit around the Earth, this grid pattern of objects, and those activities down here on Earth with the UAP objects. Very interesting.
Yeah, interesting. I wonder if these things were moving around when different things were going on for the flap, but either way, there's other coincidences as you bring up with the 1954 European UFO wave, a massive spike in sightings across France and Italy that had taken place. This data can be seen as evidence that this orbital network was active during major UAP events, because the number of these objects that were up there greatly increased during these times.
Oh, absolutely. So we have direct connection to the activity here on Earth with UAP objects and this orbiting network, this grid that's been out there for only God knows how long.
Yeah. Absolutely. I can't wait. Now, this is part 2, Sam. Some people are saying, can't wait for part 2. This is part 2 of what we were talking about before, that Dennis had talked about at the start, saying there's this new study and information coming forward. There were 2 studies kind of tied to the same data. This one is more the smoking gun than the other one. Do you want to tell us the difference between the two, Mike?
Sure. The first paper that she released a few days earlier had to do with a study that she did about UAP activity and nukes. And she released that paper, and we covered that one as well. But she also mentioned that was not the smoking gun paper. It's not the big one that Dennis Asberg was talking about
Yeah.
in that video we played.
Yeah.
This paper is the actual one that has the evidence that she wanted the world to know about, not the other one. And a lot of people have been confusing the two.
Yeah.
So I know. So it's good that we're able to
It
point
happened
that out
on
to
X.
everybody.
It's happening here. Ignoramus. Good to see you, Ignoramus. Ignoramus. All right. Prison planet, anyone? Yeah, it could look that way. It's either a prison planet to keep us in, or it's a farm and a fence to keep the nasties out and to keep the animals in. Either way, it doesn't look good.
No, Thomas and I have been talking about that aspect of it privately. And it does seem to appear with the evidence that she's brought forward that in theory, we could be living on what would be referred to as an open air prison. Meaning there's no walls or borders, but we're pinned and locked in nevertheless.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get some humans to Mars. You never know. All right, so there was something else I was going to bring up, but that's neither here nor there. Let's move on with the story itself. The story takes even a darker turn at Harvard University between 1953 and 1968. There was a mysterious 15-year hole in Harvard's vast astronomical plate collection known as the Menzel Gap after director Donald H. Menzel. And as we covered on Saturday's show or Friday's show on this one, when Dr. Menzel came in and took over the astronomy department at Harvard, one of his very first tasks that he put out there was the destruction of specific series of plates of glass that had this information recorded, like he was trying to go ahead and erase portions of history, like there was something there that people shouldn't see. Now, it should be of no surprise to our viewers that, of course, Menzel was also associated with the intelligence community.
Agency.
Hey, Mike?
Yeah, that's correct. He was an intelligence asset for the U.S. government.
Yeah.
Which is no surprise when he took over Harvard astronomy. He destroyed thousands of those irreplaceable plates.
Yep. But luckily, Beatrice tracked down another set of plates that were taken at Palomar, doing the same thing, Palomar Observatory in San Diego, California, we believe. And there was additional data that she's been able to go ahead, get scanned in and analyzed manually and with AI to try and figure out what's going on.
Correct. And that's how she was able to make these discoveries based on that information.
Yep. So, as back in 1953, just these anomalies were being recorded at Palomar, Menzel abruptly halted Harvard's plate program. He ordered the destruction of hundreds of thousands of plates without even examining them. These plates, or pictures on glass for that matter, would have covered the exact years of Beatrice's study, identifies as crucial. So it seems like he knew what was going on, went in there, deleted this, destroyed the stuff, effectively removing it from history. Now, the important thing to realize, hasn't Harvard's survey gone back like to the 1800s, Mike?
Yes, I think 1888, Thomas.
Yeah.
So all of that information can't be recovered. And we talked about this, like you said on Friday's show. He was smashing the glass plates at Harvard to remove any chance that anybody might discover this like Beatrice did.
Yeah.
It's actually a tragedy.
As Lloyd calls it in the back, crimes against humanity.
Right.
Yeah. Trying to keep our,
criminal.
It's like trying to pull the wool over our eyes continually. Hide the evidence that the general public, you don't need to know this stuff. Just keep on, following our orders. It's our government. We control everything. There's nothing else going on. Nothing to see here, folks, when clearly there is.
Right. And Beatrice was able to discover it, even though the U.S. government has tried to hide this for the past 75 years. It's disgusting.
Yeah. So Menzel wasn't just a scientist, as we just said. He had deep ties to the U.S. intelligence and was a loud public UFO skeptic. The timing is uncanny. It's remarkable for that matter. It can be speculated from Beatrice's study that his actions may have been an effort to erase the evidence of a non-human orbital network. We're talking about an engineered pre-space age orbital grid, but built with technology. I'd say decades, if not farther, beyond the 1950s human capabilities. That means one thing. We have been watched for a very long time. And a Sigma 22 result doesn't suggest, it doesn't hint, it declares. These objects are real. They are artificial. And most importantly, they're not ours. Let's just put that out there, Mike. They're not from humanity.
Right. There is no way we had technology or capability of any type of space flight. And we're not just talking about going to the moon. We're talking about just simply low Earth orbit. We didn't have any capability of doing that prior to October of 1957. And with that, it wasn't us who did that. It was the Russians.
Mm-hmm.
So anything earlier than that, by no means could it possibly be our technology.
And we'll get to that link shortly with Gene.
Okay, yeah. Excellent.
Absolutely. Just a quick reminder, Mike, if you look at this, we have 426 people watching the show right now. And how many likes do we have? 99.
Not nearly enough. Right.
If you can do us a favor, folks, go ahead and give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. The interaction, good or bad, coming from our audience actually helps with the YouTube algorithm and helps me to help you to get more viewers to watch our show. So if you're having a good time, yes or not, go ahead and give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And tell you what, if you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love to have you as a regular. Because what does it cost, Mike?
Oh, the cost is free, Thomas. And with that, we'll even give you a double your money back guarantee.
Well, there we go.
Please like and subscribe.
Oh, yeah, you better believe it, my friend.
Especially if you're enjoying the content and the information.
Oh, yeah, here we go. So let's move into this. At the end of it, if true, this is the biggest cover-up in human history. Not a crushed saucer, but an entire, fleet. This is bigger than a fleet. This is like call it a fleet, whatever, of alien hardware, an array of alien hardware above our heads, quietly operating for decades, maybe centuries, keeping their eye on what's happening with humanity, and maybe more on the surface. The sky isn't whispering anymore. It's screaming. Well, Mike, this is a phenomenal story that you've been covering when you've been working with Beatriz to try and get out there, and I appreciate you going ahead and encouraging her many, many times over to go ahead and don't wait for the paper to be published. Bring it out now. The community, the public, deserves the truth.
Absolutely. Plus, when she made this discovery, she was publicly putting out there at the time that she was in fear of her safety. And because of this discovery, she was worried that something tragic might happen to her.
Yeah.
And she wasn't sleeping well at night. So I was talking to her about this, and I had advised that the one surefire way she could ensure her safety is to bring this information out as quickly as possible, because once it's out, they're not going to target her personally and try to do her harm.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, the only thing left that they can do is try to discredit her and her work, which we've seen countless times before. So I convinced her to not wait until the end of the peer review that she submitted these papers for, and which are still in the process of. That could take a lot of time moving down the road. I convinced her to finally bring these out to the public, let the public decide, and it would ensure her safety. And she agreed, which is how she was able to release these papers when she did.
Yeah.
So we think the public has a right to know.
Oh, yeah, Mike. And for those in the chat who are saying, show me the paper, I want to read the paper to get it. And I believe, is that the publication is out there in ResearchGate. Is that the full publication, Mike, or is that a partial one?
No, that's the full publication, and the link is in the post I put up on X. Plus, you also have the full file if you want to put a link for it in for the audience up in the
I'd
chat.
have to go ahead and upload it someplace else. Let's go ahead and put that up there. There's a link to the document, and I believe this is coming from Beatriz's post. Let me go back to your post here a second ago, Mike. And yeah, it's the same document. So I've just posted that for everybody in the chat. And let me just go ahead. There is an X link that was used. Let me go ahead and just bring it up. There is a link on here to go ahead and actually download the full paper. It says download the citation, where you can go ahead and download it. Let me go ahead and share this for the audience so everyone can go ahead and check it out. There we go. Shared with the audience. That's what we need to do, Mike. Keep everybody up to date on what's truly going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they can review the data and the paper and all the information in it for themselves. And that's the point, is to make everybody aware of what's going on, all this information and this amazing scientific discovery of hers. So, yeah, and now everyone has the opportunity to see and judge for themselves about this amazing discovery of hers.
Yeah, but this kind of ties into some documents that were put together in Russia that have been presented by Gene Sticko.
Yes. Gene also, and we covered this as well on the show, published the book Engineering Infinity, and he was also able to take the information that he has from his father-in-law's work that he did and tie it into this amazing discovery of Beatrice's and the work that she's been doing as well. And since Gene was gracious enough to join us on the show tonight, I'll let him explain.
Well, let me do the introduction first, and then we'll bring in Gene. How about that?
Excellent.
So, Dr. Beatrice transients meet Soviet-era secrets in the sky grid theory, a discovery that truly rewrites the space age. What if the space age didn't begin with Sputnik in 1957? A bombshell post on Infinity, disclosed by Gene Sticko on July 27th, connects Dr. Beatrice's groundbreaking work on mysterious transients in the upper atmosphere with the forgotten theories of Soviet engineer Valery, pronounce the name in a bit, hinting at a pre-space age orbital platform of non-human origin titled The Sky Grid Theory, How Villarroel's Transients May Reveal a Pre-Space Age Orbital Platform. This piece weaves together cutting-edge astronomy and Cold War-era notes to suggest something extraordinary was in Earth's orbit before human satellites. Well, this could change everything. Before I get any more into the story, let's bring Gene Sticko forward. Gene, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. And, I just got to start out. You, Mike, absolutely amazing work on this. And I'm so grateful, for you guys, not just sharing this, but, Mike, you sharing the paper I put together too. It's really caught a lot of attention, to say the least.
Listen, Gene, that's what friends are for. And what you've been doing so far to educate the public on the work that your father-in-law was doing over in Soviet-era Russia, I think is also truly amazing. And we appreciate you being a part of this and helping to educate the public on what really has been going on around us. Thank you for that, Gene.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, it's been since this came out, since I first saw it, and Thomas, Mike will tell you, I kind of guessed it a little bit leading up to the days right beforehand, because what I was hearing resonated so much with what I had read in my father-in-law's works. And, he called it by different names, but it was relatively the same thing. And, I sent Mike a text, and I said to him, I said, well, if she's proven these sort of mystery satellites, it means she has proven this vacuum / what he calls ether. And I mean, it unlocks so much. And the paper I put together, and I was trying to be so careful to not rain on the parade. And, I've seen some other posts where people have had similar theories or their own theories that are trying to hijack the narrative a little bit. And so all I was trying to do was really say, look, based on this information that this team, Dr. Villarroel and her team put together, I've got this blueprint here and it all fits together, and it just is making sense. And even since that post, I've done another paper I wrote today that was finished today, I should say, that talks about the entire Soviet mentality around this issue, and it's, I mean, it is really revealing.
More than revealing, my friend. It's a good piece of information that we definitely need to attach to move things forward.
And I don't know if you saw, I was able to put together an image and a short video, again, using the data from Dr. Villarroel's story, using the data from my father-in-law's work, which is not peer reviewed, hasn't gone through the quote unquote formal scientific process, to try and visualize it. And somebody pinged me today. They said, there was another podcast that was actually, they just brought up my paper to explain to everybody what this body of work meant and can possibly mean. So that gave me a good feeling that at least what I did is potentially helping her explain it to people, because it is so scientific and so much to get your mind around.
Which is a very good point. Yeah. And also, for the audience that may not be aware of all of the details of your book and the work that your father-in-law was doing, the work he was doing was over 45 years ago in Mother Russia, and during the height of the Cold War, the old Soviet Union. So none of the information that you published in the book was ever public. Not then, not now. And only recently did Beatriz release this information, after long discussions I had with her. And this is the first time that the public is actually becoming aware of this potential network orbiting the Earth, and the work that your father-in-law was doing 45 years ago that kind of explains the engineering of it. Right, Gene?
Correct. And you had that statistic up earlier, Thomas, of 10 to the 70th power.
Yeah.
And so people understand, that's 1 with 70 zeros behind.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And a lot of this research that we've been doing, and I haven't run the numbers on this, and this might be a fun one for us to do and touch on next time or post. But, I've been taking the core science out of my father-in-law's papers and comparing it against publicly available data from the U.S. government. And I've got 90-95% correlations that in the same time periods, they were doing the same kind of research, but you just don't know their origins. And the statistical odds of that were 10 to the 630th power.
Wow.
So 1 with 630 zeros behind it, odds that it's coincidental.
Yeah.
So, as I said, I think if we were prosecuting, if we were sending this to a grand jury, there's going to be an indictment.
Yeah. If I can, really quick, what I've got going up here right now, Mike, is this is a this is the largest independent telescope array in the world. It's located down in Austin, Texas. These telescopes are all co-located for astronomers around the world to this particular spot because it's a really great dark sky location. All of these different, there's 8, if you want to call it, different facilities going back in the distance with roofs that all retract off to the side. And this is the kind of place we're looking towards potentially. Could someone with technology like this today, with such a huge amount of, if you want to call observing power, try and line up and find some of these things? So we're doing the work to try and connect the people with the technology along the people with the knowledge to go ahead and see, can the two to come together to give us that observation of what's still in the sky today?
Right. Which is work that nobody is doing right now with any type of technology like this telescope array, and utilizing it to confirm these objects today, not going back to 1949.
Yep.
It's an amazing discovery. The potential of breakthroughs that are going to be on the forefront in the future are equally as amazing. And we want the public to know that we're taking this really seriously.
Oh, yeah.
And we have our hands directly on working to bring the truth out to the public about what's really going on around us.
That's what our goal is, Mike. Absolutely. It's not just looking for the information that's out there. How do we connect it to even bring it to a higher level of reality and make it, if these things were there in the 40s and 50s and 60s potentially, can we still go ahead and have a great telescope, if you want to call it, viewing platform that can focus in and try and find these things?
Right, because they're there, Thomas. You and I know that already.
Oh, yeah.
We just need to be able to prove it. And when that happens, it's going to answer a lot of questions that people have on the work that Beatriz has already done. And we're still looking to provide those answers moving forward. And we know they're there, which is going to be equally astounding for people to realize, hey, this grid of network of satellites, they're still there currently and have been there for a very long time.
Yep. Oh, absolutely, Mike.
This is going to really get everybody's attention.
I think it's got everybody's attention because there's a bunch of people here tonight, and this is like the only thing that's going on right now in the world of disclosure in social media.
Well, that's true, because you and I have also been covering on the show that as far as Washington is concerned, nothing is moving forward on disclosure. As far as social media, there aren't any whistleblowers that are coming forward that are actually credible with any information. It's just ground to a halt.
Oh,
and anything
wait.
that we have been hearing, go ahead.
But wait, there's more. Dr. Keith Lewis Taylor. You know Dr. Keith, don't you? You've brought him on the show several times in the past. Yeah.
We have, yes.
Dr. Keith Taylor has been out there. God, who are the brothers called again?
The Tedesco brothers.
The Tedesco brothers. This is on Saturday night at Montauk Park in Long Island. And this is them going ahead and using the Luna Optics night vision binoculars, going ahead and seeing a bunch of objects that shouldn't be there, but they're not showing up on anything, but they're actually there, Mike, and moving in mysterious ways.
Right. Listen, we became aware of the Tedesco brothers when you and I were covering the drone flap over New Jersey. They were out there in Long Island, and they were monitoring what was going on. They do really good work, and they have a mobile scientific laboratory. I think they call it the Nightcrawler. And they have a lot of really accurate information, and they're able to get data on these objects. So, yeah, it seems to be, and you and I have said this in the past before, we're not expecting the U.S. government, or any other government for that matter, to bring disclosure out to the public. It's not going to happen.
Nope.
We know that the truth is only going to come from the work coming out of science and technology.
That's
from
right.
enterprising scientists that are trying to get to the truth and doing it all on their own, like Dr. Beatriz Villarroel and like the Tedescos and like Gene Sticko and the work that his father-in-law was doing over in Soviet Russia. So that's where the truth is going to come from. Oh, yeah. And we're seeing it play out now in real time.
And there have
been right all along.
And there has been some good footage that's been quote unquote leaked by people who were inside Skywatcher to the public who shouldn't have seen it, but it's been leaked and it's out there now.
Right. I saw that. Came out the other day.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that shows that science is going to bring the truth out when all else fails.
Oh, yeah, they will. Let me see if I can get to Dr. Keith's. I know he's got a couple posts that he's put up here lately with regards to this. I want to see if I can find those. I thought I had them tagged. Gosh, he does a lot of reposting out here. Let's see if I can find. There was another video we had. All right, there's a Luna Optics one. All right, here's an example of the array that they had set up with the Tedesco brothers. Let me bring this one up now. Here we go. Interesting image of all the different cameras and devices and everything out there, all trained with their eyes on the sky. Yes, Mike, is what I always say here at Disclosure Tonight. Go outside and look up, because if you're not, you're not going to see anything.
Oh, that is the end of most of the shows where you tell the audience, go outside and look up.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh, you better believe
Everyone
it.
would be surprised what's right over their heads.
Yeah, and Keith has been actually covering a bunch of this stuff that's been going on with Beatrice and her papers coming out as well. I got another one here from a busy Saturday night on Montauk. This is using a DVX Nightstorm X1. I've never heard of that before, but it sounds like an interesting platform. Let's bring this one up as well. This one, you've got one object off to the side, and then you're going to see some other red objects kind of off to the right in here as it moves on. This clip is 1 minute, 2 seconds long. So there we go. Yeah, I know it's some flashing lights in the sky, but we've got multiple things showing up, and it's, you know, it has to have the scientist's interest, Mike, if they're sharing it with us.
Oh, it does, Thomas. You're absolutely right about that. Listen, big or small, it's all promising data that will help to reveal what's going on all around us for the public. So I would look at it in that light, that this is really useful information, no matter if it's just a light overhead or it's hard facts and data like Dr. Villarroel had brought out with her paper.
Yeah.
Or the work that Gene's father-in-law is doing over in Russia with all the documents and mathematics. This is what the public is going to be able to use to understand the truth.
Yeah. We'll talk about bizarre events since we've had some UFO footage popping up. This one actually popped up over Liverpool over the weekend. Let me go ahead and bring this one up and I can share it with everybody. Here we go. On July 26th in Liverpool, United Kingdom, a couple experienced a bizarre event while heading out to shop. As they drove, they noticed what appeared to be a meteor descending from the clouds, swiftly clearing the houses and buildings ahead in mere seconds. But then the object slowed down significantly. Further, where did I go? Significantly further down the road. Then the driver stopped the car and recorded a brief video. After driving for about 2 minutes, they spotted the object again, now intermittently appearing and disappearing in the air. Shocked, the driver stopped the car, got out, and began recording. The object, a clear ball of light with a slight tail, seemed to notice them and circled the car twice at close range. Suddenly, as if a switch had been flipped, it vanished completely. They remained at the spot for about 15 minutes, but nothing more occurred. Notably, there was no sound, no drone noise or other noise, and nothing appeared on flight radar at the time. Only the initial video could be shared. So let's go ahead and bring this one up, coming from the United Kingdom. Well, that is an interesting object, Mike.
Yeah, it sure as hell is.
Right there next to me.
This is the full video, original video, uncut, unedited, played back of what was shared on social media over on X. So you can see a slight tail going along it right now, but it's coming back at him. And when's the last time you saw a meteor change directions and circle back, Mike? And there it is, it's
Never,
gone.
Thomas.
Yeah.
That's under intelligent control. That's not something a media would be doing.
Oh yeah, let's bring it around again, and there it goes again, circling around. You can see a bit more of a tail, but yeah, interesting sights, even in the United Kingdom going on today. And while disclosure for the most part has been shut down in the United States because we've got the House of Representatives out on their summer break as a matter of convenience for them, it's still happening around the world.
Yeah, these objects are appearing everywhere on the planet every day. If you are able to catch it and have a phone handy to video it, people would be, I think, surprised at the frequency of how often this occurs on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So we're not alone. There's something here with us that we're not aware of that has technology that we're not even close to having.
Yeah. Absolutely, my friend. Now, is it Mike McCulloch who was the person who was the first ICIG?
Dr. McCulloch.
Dr.
He
McCullough.
also represented David Grush. Chuck
Yes,
McCullough.
he was. And we've got a little clip we played the other day. I just want to bring this one up again of him talking about disclosure, where we're at, and potentially where we're going to be headed in the near future. It's always great to hear this gentleman go ahead and talk about this. Let's play this clip, Mike.
Yeah, please do.
There we go. Let's play it.
A clear sense is that I and most, if not all, of the colleagues, staff colleagues who were involved, and certainly some of the key senators who were involved, found these individuals to be credible, and sane. And to your question about were they believable when they would express concerns for their own safety and that of their families and of their careers, I would say that's very definitely was credible. I mean, what I mean by that is we believed them that they felt that way. And it was almost, in some cases, palpable. I can recall an instance where one source, when initiating, an explanation of what they of what they knew, was visibly shaking. I mean,
Wow.
physically so stressed about it.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't think that these folks are making it up. They feel that there are grave risks, and
And these are people that have not gone public. They're not the whistleblowers the public knows.
well, that's right.
While collecting my evidence for the existence of these programs from the proverbial horse's mouth. I mean, I spoke to White House officials, chief executives, corporate CEOs, program administrators, executive assistants, people in charge of SCIFs and security, retired flag and general officers. The accumulated weight of the evidence given to me firsthand by people who worked or were briefed or were exposed to those programs was irrefutable. It was very difficult to dismiss.
Yeah. Now, Mike, to go ahead and expand on this, one of the issues that's been brought up recently, that some of the reasons that whistleblowers, even like Dennis, when he put out that video, we played it at the start of the show, and he took the video down because he came under so much personal attack by the trolls on Twitter to where he wanted to step away from it and not be, not engage anymore. And I think that's part of the issue that probably a lot of our whistleblowers are seeing today is it's not just worrying about the government and everybody else in the media going ahead and attacking the individuals who want to come forward. It's the people who are part of the UFO community, which is saddening.
It is. And I can make a couple of points about that. Number one, when David Grush came out and testified under oath publicly on July 26, 2023, he had at that point sacrificed his career in the military because he was 36 years old at the time and had a full career and life ahead of him. But by him coming out publicly, that all came to a halt with his career with the government. And now what happened is they asked him at the time, why did you do this? And his answer was because when he discovered the information that he did in his 4-year investigation, after speaking with 40 different witnesses, he felt that the public had the right to know, and that if he didn't come forward, they would never know any of this information. So he sacrificed his career to bring this out to the very public, then went and mercilessly had to try to discredit him and attack him, and any whistleblower that comes forward suffers similar fate. Now, Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who's in charge of the Secrets Task Force, she recently said that a lot of the whistleblowers who had testified behind closed doors They don't feel that it's going to serve any purpose for them to come out publicly. And also, there is no protections on the law books to protect them when they come out. And finally, she said that they told her they don't see the point, because even if they provide this information out publicly, Congress doesn't seem to do anything with it. It never moves forward. If you remember when David Grush said publicly that he has addresses of where the locations are of these craft and bodies, that he would provide that to Congress. They never did anything with that. That was over 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Nothing. Congress does not seem to be moving forward with any of the information that these people make personal sacrifices to provide. So that's another reason why disclosure has ground to a halt now. Doesn't seem to be moving forward, and we're not getting any of the information that the public has a right to know, because these people don't think there's a point, and the pushback that they get subjected to is horrible. The very public that they're trying to make these sacrifices for seems to rake them over the coals and not really appreciate it too much. So if it was you, would you want to come forward?
Oh, heck no, Mike. If I'm going to come forward, I'm going to drop all this evidence down to lawmakers, right? Where are all the investigations that they were supposed to do? Where are the field hearings that they were supposed to go ahead and do and they promised they were going to do? There's a lot of empty promises that have come out of the people who are part of the UAP caucus, who a lot of them transition into for the task force for the declassification of national secrets, that haven't done anything. Now, they've made some noise. We've heard Tim Burchett say how many times that, hey, it's a cover-up. He's put, if you want to call it paper out there to go ahead and try and give whistleblowers expanded protections that they really need, and no one would bring it forward, and it ultimately failed. So why do whistleblowers want to come forward and talk in these hearings? It seems like these hearings are more of an opportunity for the members of the House of Representatives and potentially the Senate to get more votes, to get people to buy into their dialogue, not to buy into the actions that they're taking. Your thoughts?
No, you're 100% right about that. And this is why disclosure is not moving forward. Everyone has their own political agenda. Yeah. And we've also covered this here on the show, that when David Grush came out 2 years ago, 2023, there was a legitimate bipartisan effort within Congress on both sides of the aisle.
Right.
But now, if that's no longer the case, Washington, and not just on this topic, but any topic out there, is so politically divided, as is the country, that there is no meeting of the minds. There is no working together. It is just open warfare.
Yeah.
So because of that, if I was a whistleblower in this political environment, I wouldn't want to come forward.
Hey, Mike, I'm getting comments from the audience, and I've been hearing you may want to jump onto the different network because you've been breaking up a bunch.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. Thanks, Thomas.
Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, it's just one of those situations we look at and we want to get to the truth. And if those in power aren't even doing what's within their ability, that's the part you have to ask the question, what the hell is going on? Such as...
Exactly.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
That's how we feel sometimes. Just got to say, what the hell is even that? What are they doing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't seem to know what they're doing.
No, they don't.
That's the problem.
Scientists think they know what they're seeing. Scientists think they know everything with regards to universe and dark matter and all the different stuff, and how old our planet is, how old our galaxy is, how old the universe is, and how all the different stuff works. Well, as of July 23rd, our scientists and astronomers worldwide got a big shut the fuck up sandwich delivered to them because they found a chain of 20 galaxies. They're calling it the cosmic vine. and which stretches 13 million light years across and dates back to just 3 billion years after the Big Bang happened, challenging the models of early galaxies. What am I talking about? Let me go ahead and bring this up here. Let's bring this thing up in the image. This thing is amazing. They've never seen anything like this before, and gee, I wonder why. It's amazing, isn't it, Mike?
It looks like what you would see if you're on an acid trip or ayahuasca.
Yeah, it just goes to show you,
video game.
You know, a lot of our understanding is made by scientists, and if they get something that doesn't fit to their model, they throw it away. They persecute the people who are bringing the information forward. It's one of the reasons why we encourage Beatrice, bring out the paper now. Don't wait till they peer review it. Get it out now. Get it to the public, because they could poo-poo it, like what happened with these scientists in Ukraine.
Right. They tried to do good research, good study that they did. And they had data, verifiable data. But when they had tried to submit it to the Astronomical Journal for peer review, Dr. Avi Loeb and Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick had put out their own paper that tried to discredit the work that they were doing over in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
And what was the end result of that? Their paper was denied, was not published, and they took their research and stopped moving forward with it because of that kind of pressure. So we know when certain individuals that may be working on behalf of the government don't want scientific breakthroughs or information about UAP to come out publicly, they'll discredit those scientists and shut that work down.
Yeah.
So we've seen it before. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why Beatrice listened to reason and brought the papers out publicly early.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, you know, they say if you don't learn the lessons from the past, you'll be forced to repeat them. So at least being smart about this and knowing what the obstacles are, if you have credible information, you need to get it out as soon as possible so people can judge for themselves.
You better
and be
believe
made
it.
aware.
You better believe, my friend, it's about finding that information, bringing it forward, and going ahead and doing your best way to go ahead and get it ready for submission. But if it gets into it, you know, someone else brought up in the chat, archaeologists do the same thing, same do historians. If they find an object that doesn't purport to the time frame of humans being in the ice, you know, if you want to call it, in the Stone Age, 12,000 years ago, that there was nothing advanced. And when they're finding footprints of humans or little statuettes or different things that are much older than they should be, they take the stuff, they deny it, they kick it out, and the person who brought it forward is removed from the societies.
Right. And we've talked about this in the past as well. That's called scientism. Isn't it, Thomas?
Yeah, there's scientism, there's historism, there's a bunch of different isms out there.
Correct. They try to keep the model that they feel fits the story. And when you come up with a discovery or a theory that violates that, they try to discredit you. We've seen this countless times. I think that was the issue with Graham Hancock and Göbekli Tepe. And his point that there were ancient civilizations that existed far beyond the time frame that regular archaeology believes that they took place.
I mean, there's even archaeologists out there, Mike, who, when they were still alive, were saying that potentially the pyramids, the original builders, built them anywhere from 30 to 60,000 years ago. It's not like they were just built, 10,000 years ago. There's something that went on a long time ago, kind of like you see all the different megalithic blocks that are around the basis of the pyramid when it was rebuilt at one time at that point. But you see those megalithic structures all over Peru.
Right. Oh, that's right. This goes back much further and a lot longer than some routine science today with their theories. They try to control the narrative, and they don't want anything to violate that.
Mm-hmm.
So
can't see the link. Sorry.
It should be about scientific breakthroughs and new information progressing us and moving us forward with our knowledge and understanding. But that's not always the case.
No.
More times than not, it's politics, and it's them trying to shut down anything that goes against what they believe to be true.
Possibly because it doesn't go for the convenience of the governments and religions and social structures that are instilled on our planet today. And if some of this stuff come out, some people or a lot of people would probably open their eyes and wake up and realize what we're actually living within and unite in a way where it goes beyond the borders of countries and unites us as a humanity, like Ronald Reagan has talked about so many times in the past.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. He made these points again 40 years ago, and he was just as right about that then as I believe it is today. What do you think?
Oh, I think so.
I don't think anything's changed. I think he's right. If we were facing an advanced threat that the human race didn't have a chance in hell of being able to fight back against, it would make all of the disputes that we have by territories, religions, politics, I think they would all fall away pretty quickly.
Oh, they would,
and that's
Mike.
what Reagan said. Yeah.
Well, I've got a montage clip that goes on here that has Reagan talking about this. He just didn't talk about it one time in the United Nations. He talked about it multiple times, but we have had a couple more super chats coming in. I want to thank everybody for your love and support of Disclosure tonight. We're a fan-funded program, and we appreciate the interaction in the chat and the super chats that have been coming on for everybody. Yeah, we just want the truth. Absolutely, my friend. Let's go ahead next and get onto this clip of Ronald Reagan talk. We've played this in the past, but you know what? It really ties into what we're going through in Disclosure today and what the potential outcome could be. So let's go ahead and play this clip from good old Ronnie back in the day. Here we go.
I couldn't help at one point in my discussions privately with General Secretary Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species, from another planet, outside in the universe. We'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together. Well, I don't suppose we can wait for some alien race to come down and threaten us, but I think that between us we can bring about that realization. In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war? I think maybe I'd answer it this way. I keep, in my frustration sometimes, you know, actually, if you count some of the things going on in smaller countries and all, there have been about 114 wars since World War II. But I've often wondered, what if all of us in the world discovered that we were threatened by a power from outer space, from another planet? Wouldn't we all of a sudden find that we didn't have any differences between us at all? We were all human beings, citizens of the world, and wouldn't we come together to fight that particular threat?
Well, Mike, you know, supposedly back in the day, there was a summit that happened, and Reagan had been briefed about a giant ship, like miles long, that was seen in the rings of Saturn. That Reagan went to Gorbachev and let him know about this information, and more importantly, asked him that if it came down to it, would Russia join the United States to defend humanity? And what was his answer?
His answer was, yes, Mr. President, we would.
Yeah.
And that was, again, at the height of the Cold War between Russia and the United States. Everything on the line, open hostility. But if it came down to a threat of that magnitude, Russia would stand with the United States because we are all one species and we would have to work together. So we seem to have forgotten that from then to now.
Absolutely. Like I've forgotten to go ahead and call on Corporal Abe. Your hand has been up, my friend. Sorry about that. What say you?
Hey, I just want to talk about that James Webb discovery. I kind of feel like that's a pretty big deal. What created that? I think me and you talked about it earlier, Thomas. Was kind of speculating that apparently maybe it's a Kardashev scale 3 type object civilization thing, and maybe this is a little bit of government disclosure, because look where it came from. Where's the explanation? They're just going to drop the bomb and photo on us and be like, hey guys, look what we found, and then there's nothing else. So yeah, I think it was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
But I agree with everything else you guys are talking about.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, Mike, I want to go ahead and replay just this little part of this clip here, because he's repeated this multiple times, right? But now there's something he added in the end. Let me play this again.
Wouldn't we all of a sudden find that we didn't have any differences between us at all? We were all human beings, citizens of the world, and wouldn't we come together to fight that particular threat?
To come together and fight that threat. He didn't say that before. He said about bringing them together, but not coming together to fight that threat.
Right. Which means that, look, like we talked about at the beginning of the show, Donald Menzel specifically destroyed all of those glass plates from the Harvard Observatory, trying to hide and conceal the information that Beatrice had eventually found. That tells me that the U.S. government has probably been aware of a presence here going that far back, which means if in 1985, Ronald Reagan as the president is talking about this, it's probably with firsthand knowledge.
And it wasn't just one time, it was repeated times. Everyone thought there was just that one speech at the UN, but now we've got a clip that has, what, four times he talked about it at least?
Oh, yeah. So if it turns out we're living on an open-air prison and we are completely surrounded by a network of artificial satellites that are not ours, and there is activity openly here on our planet that we've been aware of for a very long time, something is here. And we have no control over it. And if the president knew that, and the fact that he kept repeating it, like you're saying, it was probably a major concern of his.
Oh, gosh, yes.
That's what it sounds like to me. He was really worried that this could be an issue at one point. And then what would we do?
Right. We'd have to do something. So, we couldn't just stand if these things were to come our way and just, well, anytime you have a highly advanced civilization coming and exposing themselves to a, let's say, much less advanced civilization that's out there, it never, ever, at least in the chance of humanity, well, anything in the animal world for that matter, has ever worked out good for those who are less advanced and evolved than the other ones that are coming.
Absolutely correct. History, our own history shows us that time and time again.
Yeah.
Right.
It leads to leads to extermination and mass genocide.
And imprisonment and encampment, like Native American reservations.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happened. So this planet surrounded by this network that Beatrice had found, we could be living on a reservation without even realizing it.
Oh, I'd say, a lot of people have said we live in a farm, which means, and we've heard other people like Lou and also Gary Nolan say we're not at the top of the food chain, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's either a farm or a zoo.
Right. Well, I'd say it's probably more of a farm potentially, and we're not the top of the food chain in that matter, so it's not our zoo. We think it's our planet, but there's something that's been out here a lot longer than apparently humans have been on Earth.
Yeah, that's what the evidence seems to be indicating.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Yeah, whether we like it or not. If we can. Gene Sticko, your hand's been up, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I just wanted to add, what I find fascinating about, Reagan's statements there, in one of the consistent threads in Russia from the czars through communists to Putin is this little known policy called the noosphere, Noosthere, the noosphere. And it's this idea of cosmic alignment. And when they talk about their doctrines in terms of linking the environment, science, technology, math, it all has to do with this sort of cosmic resonance thing. And so, I've always wondered with Reagan saying that so much, was he trying to play in to Gorbachev's, affection for this, that it is sort of, that it's the only consistent policy that's existed from the czars to today that they pursue.
Yeah, well, I can add to that, Gene, that obviously when Reagan had made that speech in 1985, this was at the exact same time that your father-in-law was working behind the Iron Curtain and doing his UAP reverse engineering research. And we know that whatever Russia is working on, the United States is aware of, and vice versa. So add to that the amazing work your father-in-law had done back then, and look at it that Reagan had access to that knowledge and information of what was going on. So when he made this speech, it could have been with knowledge and forethought about the existence of an alien threat, is the way he called it, and the work that your father-in-law proves was real. So there's a lot of different ways to look at it, especially at that time frame. Well, what do you think, Gene?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. There comes a point where it's just impossible to be coincidence. And when you're looking at it from an intel perspective, they just call it signals. And that's how a lot of politicians speak, are in signals, and you've just got to dissect them the right ways.
Yeah, that's true. So all of that behind the scenes information that the president at the time was aware of, and him making public speeches about it, it was almost like he was trying to hint to the American people and maybe the citizens of the world that we're not alone, and people should take that into consideration. That's what I think. What do you think, Thomas?
I would have to agree with you completely, Mike. It's, if we have information, we can bring it forward. We can get this stuff to get there. It's something that needs to happen. There's no question. There's no doubt about it that in my mind.
No, none. Which is why it was so gracious of Gene to release his father-in-law's information and put the reverse engineering book out there for everybody to see. And he also put it up, if people want to look at it, that information for free. So he's not profiting by doing this. He did this for the benefit of mankind. So we appreciate people who do work like that, as is the work that you and I do behind the scenes, that we work to bring the truth out, like with what Beatriz has been working on, and bring it out to the public to see. So, yeah, we believe in it. We work towards that goal, and we do our best to put everything together to make that happen.
As much as we can, Mike. That's what it's about.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
But we don't give up, and we don't take no for an answer.
No.
So, no, we don't. So we do our best to make it happen when other people would fall short.
That's why we are, and we do what we do here on a regular basis, Mike. We're here Monday, Friday, and Saturdays. Saturday especially for our international audience.
Right. That's right.
Just trying to take a look. Mike, is there anything else we haven't covered yet today?
Not to my knowledge, but if there are any questions people have, they can post them now. And if you want to take a poll about what we've talked about
Sure,
tonight,
yeah.
see what the audience
What would
thinks?
you like the poll to be?
Gene, I'll ask you. Everything that you, Thomas, and I have been discussing, what would you pose to the audience?
I got it, yeah.
Any ideas, Gene?
If not, I can put one together about what we're putting together for Beatrice.
No, I'm curious about what Gene thinks. Gene, what do you think?
No, I think, and unfortunately, it would be more of a write-in. You know, what are the still outstanding questions people have about, you know, Beatrice's work, and what does it mean? You know, can we?
We don't have write-in. We have multiple choice, A or B.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and try and get it in here and just put one together, if you don't mind, Mike.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Let me go ahead and find the audience. All right. Michael, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Thomas, you said you were going to call on Lloyd. Have we done that?
No, I haven't done that. Good idea. Let's go ahead and bring it forward. We have another guest in our back by the name of Lloyd, who happens to be from British Columbia as well. And sounds like we've got some interesting things going on in Canada. Do you want to fill us in, Lloyd?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for giving me a chance to speak. Great chat so far, guys. It is really informative, and I think it's really going to be a bit of a struggle for a lot of people to deal with the ramifications of what her report has brought forth. Basically, that there has to be somebody other than humanity that has placed those objects that are orbiting the Earth. That's the simple cut and dry of it, which means it wasn't us, it was somebody else, which means there has to be a non-human intelligence. Plain and simple. That's the proof right there.
Exactly.
So
that's a very good point.
That we're in Canada. The group that I'm a part of, we're Canadians for Disclosure. We started piggybacked off of Citizens for Disclosure when that movement first started. When Daniel Sheehan released it and everything, we were part of a group that joined as an offshoot because they were, soliciting everyone basically around the world to join in their own factions for their countries. So we were right at the start. We joined right on the very first day they started that. And then we moved off to the side into our own group and called it Canadians for Disclosure, just because we needed to have a more direct, a clear direction for Canadians versus the whole American narrative, which is fine. We follow that as well, but we're also, heavily invested, just like anyone else in the world. They're all doing their own parts, France, England, etc. So we started off small. There was just a few of us, and over time we've grown now. So I think we're at 97 or 100 people now, and it's difficult to get people to want to join because they think there's some sort of requirement. And we have no formal organization. We're just a bunch of concerned citizens. A lot of us are investigators and researchers. A few of us are also experiencers. Quite a few of us, I would say the majority, have been involved with the UAP studies and the phenomenon itself, and all encompassing, because it's everything now. People are more aware of that more than ever, that it covers physical, spiritual, interdimensional, whatever you want to, attempt to look at, whatever your interest, all of that's involved. So we're trying to provide a source location where anyone has questions in Canada about anything. We will use our group to try to steer them in a positive, proactive direction where they're not overburdened by all the distractions that are being out there in the media right now. I mean, yourselves on social media, you deal with 12,000 different stories a day, and a lot of it is regurgitated. So what we like to do is basically, each one of us as individuals in the group, we look at whatever our interests are in, and then when we find something that is valid, that we think we can put our stamp on in regards to like, we need to disseminate this to Canadians so that they're aware of this, because it's important in whatever faction, interest, study, whatever it is, we share it. And so that's all we've been doing basically. And it's starting to get some momentum. We also, each of us have our own social media platforms. Quite a few of us are on Facebook because we're older. So, but we do a lot of things there as well. That's where you can find me. I've been sharing a lot of stuff on this since October of last year is when I really started to get into it. But yeah, there's all kinds of things. I mean, the world's our oyster, as they say, in regards to what kind of research you want to do. So it's important to be able to attract people from all avenues of life. They need to know this. This is what's going on. It has been going on forever. I think a lot longer than what most people are attributing to their findings and whatever. I think it's been, well, personally, I think it's been before even humanity was here. I think that they were there. I just think that there's too much evidence everywhere in the world to support that fact, and we're just ignoring it for the most part.
Now, how again can people find you, Lloyd?
Pardon me?
How again can people find you?
So we're on Discord, Canadians for Disclosure. I can toss you a link. So I tried to put. Are
you on X or Facebook or Instagram or?
No, some of us are individually, but we're all focused. The Canadians for Disclosure movement is straight up on Discord. That's our only place where we all get together, because we don't want to have it spread all over so many different places. We each do our own things in our own social media spaces, but we all come back and converge into Discord when we have something that we want to share.
Gotcha. Which means your reach is a little bit limited, unfortunately.
It is limited into that aspect, but again, we're just starting up with this. So we don't have a core organization where it's like the whole thing is being run by somebody. It's just all of us together. It's like a big group of people that get together and we discuss anything and everything. And then we give our opinions on it, and then we move forward. So we have several people. Victor Vigiani, you may know him. He's the one that's basically our chair, or our CEO, or whatever you want to call the position. He's in charge. We chose him out of all the people that were involved as Canadian citizens that were already with the Citizens for Disclosure movement, Canadian Citizens for Disclosure movement. And Victor has been in the game for forever. He's one of a long-standing reporters and investigators in Canada, and he's well versed and well aware of historical UAP events that have happened across Canada. So he's kind of the one that posts the most stuff, that directs everyone and gives the nuances that we were trying to impart on everyone. But there's also like Kate Chassé. She also has a Facebook thing, and she does a regular news channel on there about UAP across the world. She does all of that stuff. She's fantastic. And Craig Whitten is also part of our core group of people, and he's also in the forefront of all kinds of aspects of it. So we have a good group of people that are trying to get the word out. And again, like, with anything new, it's always a bit of a grind to get over repetitiveness and hurdles to get the acclaim of, say, something novel. And it's a pushback, but we're not giving up. We're going to be fighting all
Gotcha, my friend. Understood. Thanks for that insight and information. And if we get a link from you, we'll share it with our audience and everything. Just know, even if you had just a presence account on the different social media platforms, it could point people back towards your Discord server. Discord isn't something you can easily search and find for people wanting to find Canadians for Disclosure. So we wish
we're aware of that. Yeah. So we're trying to do our best to get to that point. It's just about getting people that are willing to. It's all volunteers, right?
Well, that's why you have a CEO. Give him the task. Exactly. Well, thank you for coming out here today. Wow, what a great show. What a great opportunity to hang out with friends. Mike, I appreciate you and everyone in the back for coming together. Gene, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you once again. I mean, I can't say it enough. You two are amazing, and the work you do is just phenomenal. And I'm so privileged that you have this, and I feel welcome to come here.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Friend.
Yeah.
And we welcome you coming here, Gene. as I know you are already aware
Yeah.
of, and also the work that you do with Engineering Infinity. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And the audience appreciates that, and we are grateful to have you.
If we can, Mike, we had a survey we had going 6 minutes ago. We started. It's our longest running survey we've had in Disclosure tonight yet. Usually do like a minute and a half for our surveys. But however, this coming from our audience with 107 people who voted so far, the question was, I think Beatrice's research about NHI satellites is believable or not believable. And if you look at the numbers, Mike, over 93% of our audience who has responded to this survey has said yes, her research is believable. I guess that's where that high sigma comes in, my friend.
Oh, it does, Thomas. The proof is there, and the audience accepts that, which is a good thing. So the message is going out clearly.
Oh, you better believe it, my friend.
That was
Absolutely.
A good poll.
And as we go ahead and wrap this to a close, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and the dog hair out of my mouth so I can move this around, get back in the studio. I want to thank everybody for your wonderful super chats here today, everybody. Thank you very much for everything you've done for us on Disclosure tonight, specifically Laura Campbell, Anne Marie, Vern Dude. Thank you for your super chats, everybody. Anonymous Rex, Dragon, Vern Dude again, Daniel, ED, Steve Hines, Vern Dude again, and Vern Dude. He's throwing a bunch of $2 super chats. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate everyone's love and support of everything coming out here. Mike, thank you for coming out tonight, my friend.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Thomas. I wouldn't have missed this for the world.
Oh,
and
heck no.
Thank you for doing it.
You better believe it, my friend. And as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear, be safe, everybody, but
go back to Party City where you belong.
Absolutely. We'll catch you on the flip side. Good night, everybody. See you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.